Episode 5. The Battle at the Monastery. The chill in the air grew more intense as the shadows coalesced into a tangible, menacing form. The whispering shadow loomed before them, its presence filling the room with an oppressive darkness. The air crackled with malevolent energy, and the very walls seemed to shudder. Elara, Elias, Lyra, and Alistair stood their ground, their resolve hardening in the face of the threat. The time for preparation was over. Now, they had to fight. Elias stepped forward, his voice steady. "We must protect the artifacts at all costs. Elara, you focus on the book. Lyra, use your healing skills to keep us strong. Alistair and I will confront the shadow directly." Elara nodded, moving towards the ancient book on the table. The symbols on its cover seemed to glow faintly, resonating with the power within. She began to read the incantations, her voice clear and determined, as she felt the energy of the order flowing through her. The whispering shadow lashed out, its tendrils of darkness reaching for them. Elias and Alistair met its attack head-on, wielding their knowledge and the artifacts they had gathered. Lyra moved swiftly, her hands glowing with a soft light as she cast protective spells and healed their wounds. The battle raged within the monastery, the clash of light and darkness shaking the very foundations of the ancient building. Elara's voice grew stronger with each word of the incantation, the symbols on the book flaring brightly. She could feel the power of the order building, a force of ancient magic awakening. Suddenly, the shadow struck with a fierce intensity, knocking Elias to the ground. Lyra rushed to his side, her healing touch reviving him, but the shadow's assault grew more relentless. It was clear that the whispering shadow was not just a mindless force, it was intelligent, and it was furious. Alistair stepped forward, his voice calm despite the chaos. "Elara, the final incantation." Now, with a deep breath, Elara spoke the final words of the spell. The room filled with a blinding light, the power of the order unleashed in a surge of energy. The whispering shadow screamed, its form twisting and writhing as the light consumed it. For a moment, the world seemed to stand still. Then, with a final, agonized cry, the whispering shadow dissipated, its darkness banished by the ancient magic of the order. The oppressive weight in the air lifted, and the room was filled with a sense of peace and clarity. Elara collapsed to her knees, exhausted but triumphant. Elias, Lyra, and Alistair gathered around her, their faces filled with relief and pride. "You did it, Elara," Elias said, his voice filled with admiration. "You banished the shadow." Alistair nodded, his expression solemn. "But this is just the beginning. The whispering shadow is a powerful force. It will return, and we must be ready." Lyra placed a comforting hand on Elara's shoulder. "You've proven yourself today. With the order reunited, we can stand against the darkness. Together." Elara looked at her companions, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the remaining artifacts. She felt a deep sense of connection and purpose. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, but the battle was far from over. "We will be ready," Elara said, determination in her voice. "We will protect Evershade and the legacy of the order. No matter what comes." As they gathered the artifacts and prepared to leave the monastery, the first light of dawn began to break through the windows, casting a hopeful glow over the ancient walls. The journey ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, but together, they would face whatever the future held. To be continued.